Hey, friend, welcome back to another episode of the Confidence to Homeschool podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the do nots of homeschooling. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Confidence to Homeschool podcast with me, Kelsey Shalane. I'm a lover of all things Jesus, an exceptional wife to an exceptional husband, and a homeschooling mama of four. Together, let's trade in those insecurities and questions of if you can homeschool for the confidence that homeschooling was the right decision for you. Through simple homeschooling techniques, growth in God, and small mindset shifts, we have the power to change generations and set our kids' hearts tuned to the Lord and a love of learning. So grab your lukewarm coffee, because who gets to drink it hot anyways, and let's shave off years of that how to homeschool learning curve. All right, I was thinking this morning, as it is August 6th currently, and I've started seeing all of my friends sending their kids back to public school. And it is that time of the year. We are getting close to being able to send kids back to school. And I know that that makes some of your mommy hearts happy and so excited. And then I know that that is other moms that are sad and scared or worried about how their child's year is going to go, or they've had some struggles in the past, or maybe you're really still in this place where you're sending your kindergartner off to school and you're just like, man, I do not feel peace about sending them into the public school system. So I am going to run through some do nots today in homeschooling, just so that you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like, and the fact that homeschooling does not have to be all the things that homeschooling does not have to be. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be easy. It does not have to be all of these things. And then I'm going to follow it up with a part 2 episode of all of the to-dos in homeschooling. But I feel like the do nots are almost so much more important than the to-dos, because there is a lot of things out there that people think that they have to do perfectly, and really they fall into that do not category. So we're just going to dive right in today, and I just want to lay it all out for you guys here and understand that this can be different than what you thought it was going to be. So first and foremost, number one, you do not have to follow the school's calendar days. If you start later in the year, if you are sitting in this place right now and you're like, I am not sure that I want to send my child to school, but I am running out of time, I do not have curriculum, I do not have a direction, I do not know which way to go, it's totally and completely fine. It is okay to be in a place that we are on August 6th and your child is supposed to go back to school in less than 20 days, and you to decide a week before, holy cow, I do not have any desire to send them to school. What am I going to do? So I just think that that is an okay place to be. Like, here in the homeschooling world, we have advanced so much over the years. It's totally and completely fine to be in this place where you are not feeling fully prepared to go ahead and pull them from school, but your heart and you know that God is really pushing you in that direction. It's totally fine to be in that place. You don't have to start school on the exact day that they start school. You don't even have to have your entire curriculum ready and planned out for the year. You are completely allowed to take this first year that you have decided to pull them and do homeschooling. You are allowed to take the year, really get to learn your child's learning style, learn what works for them, learn what doesn't work for them, rebuild confidence if they're needing confidence rebuilt. If they are needing to go back in time as far as like third or fourth grade math instead of sixth or seventh grade math, You are allowed to be wherever it is that you need to be. You do not have to follow what the school system says on days of the week, or how many classes you have to have in a day, or whatever it may be. Whatever stipulations that you are putting on yourself, I just really want you to take a step back and go, is this the world putting this on me? Or is God really pressing my heart to do something that I just don't feel like I'm comfortable doing because I don't feel like I know it all and I don't feel like I have the answers? I think it's so important that we recognize the fact that we love our children with every ounce of our being, and the last thing that we want to do is fail our children. And that's a very scary place to be, of, but I might fail you, and what if I don't give you everything that you need? And I think that that's a really big, like, you're putting a lot on your shoulders if you are putting it on you to give them everything that they need in order to be equipped for life. I think that that is a mindset of you having to carry it all on your shoulders instead of partnering with God to make them who it is that He wants them to be, because He already has an ordained time and place in their future for them. He already has life lessons set up for them. You can't protect them from his life lessons, and you can't stop him from his goals for your children. If you have taken the time to completely and totally surrender your children to the Lord, or if that's what he's pressing on your heart right now and he's asking you, are you going to take this step and surrender your children and surrender everything to me? Are you going to surrender their school to me? Are you going to allow me to take some of the, what you might be considering hard, sending them back to public school, off your plate? And I'm going to tell you right now that every day of homeschooling is not easy. There is going to be hard days. There are going to be days that are harder than others. And on some of those hard days, we stop curriculum a little bit short. And then on some of those hard days, I'm like, we have to get through this, because you have to know that you can do hard things. It can absolutely go either way. But if you trust your instincts, you are paired with the Lord whenever you are working on all of these things, you are going to be so much more able and capable of working through those hard days. So that was a little bit of rambling and a rabbit trail. You guys know my ADHD and the fact that I just kind of start talking and you get what you get. So I am going to bring it back a little bit. To those people that are in the last minute deciding to homeschool, or maybe you're partially through the year and you're like, this doesn't work, it's not working for me, and it's not working for my child, but I don't know where to begin. What I would tell you is that you don't have to rush to find the perfect curriculum, because one, perfect curriculums do not exist, and two, you do not have to have it all figured out whenever you decide that you're going to homeschool. There are a couple of good places to start if you don't have a curriculum right there in front of you. One of my good friends, Janine Marino, I actually have an interview that at the time that you hear this may or may not already be posted, and if not, it is going to be posted, so keep an eye out for it. I have an interview lined up with Janine that we were just talking about what she uses. She is a world traveling homeschooling mom, and literally they travel the world and go do mission trips in different places. And she's such a blessing in life as far as all of the things that I get to watch her do. It's so cool watching her travel with all of her kids and her husband and all of the things. And so one of the things that I had to ask was, like, what do you guys do with school and books and all of the things? And so we discussed a little bit on that. I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek on it. But reading eggs for littles, like, one of the things that we talked about was reading eggs for the littles. And I have talked about reading eggs a million times on this podcast. I love reading eggs. Reading eggs also has a like sister program called Math Seeds. So you could literally just do reading and math for the first little bit of your schooling. If you decided like last minute, hey, I'm just going to pull them out, or in the middle of the school year, hey, I can't do this anymore, I'm just going to pull them, and they are little, a great place to start would just be able to do math and reading. Figure out where they are. They've got placement tests on there, and figure out where they are and just sit with them. They're short lessons. They'll probably be done in 15 minutes, if that. I do highly, highly recommend with reading eggs. I think a lot of parents think that it's like a set it and forget it. Like, you don't have to be there with your child while they're doing it. That's not true. You do have to be paying attention to what's going on reading eggs, or they do have the options to just kind of click through on things. It's easy enough that they can just click through on things if you're not paying attention. And if the volume is down, sometimes they don't hear the instructions, and you need to hear the instructions. So it's one of those things that I'm not telling you to just do it and then like, reading eggs is easy, it's great, you can set your kid up on your iPad and walk away. That's not one of those things. But for a little bit older kids, and they have it all the way down to kindergarten as well. But I didn't love Easy Peasy as Addison was younger, and whenever Janine and I were talking, she said the same thing. She's like, it didn't super work well for my littles. But as they get older, and as hey, I am filling the space in which I am trying to find out what curriculum I am going to be using for this school year, you can fill that space with just easy things. So, like, there's a website, it's called Easy Peasy. I'll link it in the description below. And you can set up all of the courses that you want your children to have. It has everything. It's got Bible, it's got art, music, history, science, language arts, spelling. Like, it literally has everything. Like, it has all kinds of options. And so you can go in there and you can set up what's important for you to be able to teach them, and you can start there. And if it's working for you, it's a free curriculum. You can order the little workbooks on Amazon. I think they're like $7 a piece, which is nothing. So it's super easy for you to be able to jump on and get curriculum. And if it works, it works. Janine was saying her older son absolutely loves it because it's a lot online. It's his own pace. Whenever I was looking at it the other day, because I was kind of toying with the idea of trying it again for my daughter, um, the lessons are pretty short, so they feel very doable. And she said that her son is almost a year ahead and closer to graduating because he likes to be able to just sit there and do things on his own time. And he can do multiple lessons in a day. And so I think that that's a really great place to start. They also have a placement test on there. And so if you're looking for something just in the in between, you have options. You have options for littles, you have options for older kids. You can do YouTube videos if they're asking questions. Asher's been asking a lot about lightning lately and how it works, and does lightning like metal, does lightning like water, all of the different things. But you can do YouTube videos. Like, you are completely capable of finding YouTube videos that match with whatever your child's interest is. Animals, you can learn about animals. We love Jacob Fetter, so on and so forth. So, like, don't feel like you cannot do homeschooling this year, or that you're too late, or that you have to have it all figured out. Do not feel like you have to have it all figured out and have all of the answers before you decide to pull the trigger and do the things. Just go ahead, pray about it and know, if you know that that is what God is telling you to do, put your fears aside of it being hard or of you failing your kids, and do the thing and see where he leads you, because he's faithful to complete what it is that he starts. And if he starts that, I promise you, the journey on the other side of it, whenever you start getting in your swing of things, is so sweet, guys. It's so sweet to be able to have those aha moments with your kids, and it's so sweet to be able to see their light bulb turn on of, oh my goodness, this was so hard and now I get it. And it's so cool to watch. It's the coolest superpower in the world to teach a human to read. Like, it's the most fun thing in the world to be able to take a child and them not be able to read. And everything that I went through with Asher, I mean, Addison was behind on reading as well. Asher had such a, I can't do it perfectly the first time, so I don't even want to try. And we spent, you know, I'm getting ahead of myself, because one of my do's is take breaks. Like, you can take breaks. And so I'm going to give you a sneak peek of that as well. Like, my daughter, in between each subject, we took a break, and I was given a hard time about that from a friend of mine that teaches in public school. She's like, in what world are they going to be able to take breaks in between each subject like that? And I was like, it won't be forever, it'll just be for now, you know? And she doesn't need breaks in between anymore. But Asher would have a full-blown meltdown for 15 to 20 minutes. So our break was him crying for 15 to 20 minutes. And y'all, it didn't matter what I did. He didn't want a break. He was frustrated because he wanted to go do what he wanted to go do, and he didn't want a break. So anytime I would go, are you frustrated? Do you need a break? He'd be like, no. And he would just sit there and melt down for 15 to 20 minutes. And in that particular case, I was like, no, we're not doing this. We're not melting down and then we're stopping doing our curriculum for the day. I'm not letting you off the hook. For him, in his particular situation, we had to go through it. I have to sit there and wait for his 15 to 20 minutes of a meltdown. I give him cuddles, I hang out with him, and we wait until he's done melting down. And I tell him, Asher, you know we're going to end up doing this on the other side of your meltdown. So why can't we just skip the meltdown today and just get the thing done? Because it always takes you less time to get it done than it does for you to have your meltdown. Like, you cry for longer than it takes for you to get it done. And then once he's done, he's happy. He's happy he went through it. He's happy he learned it. But he just has that, like, if I can't do it perfect the first time personality, then I don't even want to try, because it feels like failing if I'm not doing it perfectly. And he doesn't like to fail. He would rather not try than he would to fail. So, rabbit hole. Totally and completely a rabbit hole. Sorry about that. Anyways, so I just really want to encourage you that you don't have to have it figured out. You don't have to follow the school schedule. You can start whenever you want. You can even do around year schooling. And I don't say you can do. I highly recommend year-round schooling. It gives you all of the time throughout the school year to be able to go out and enjoy the world. Like, it's so nice. We homeschoolers absolutely love. We get more school. I don't know about everybody, but I get more school done with my kids during the summertime because we're out during the school year and we're having fun. Like, we will go to trampoline parks or go to an aquarium or go out on the beach and start finding stuff and looking stuff up because we live close to the beach. Like, we do beach days, we do fishing days, we do all kinds of life days where we as a family go and get together and just enjoy each other. And I have so many friends that their kids just can't stand each other, and my kids love each other. Like, yes, they fight, they have their own issues, but they do really love each other. And the fact that they get to connect on a regular basis, they have become each other's built-in best friends. Another huge perk of homeschooling is your children become built-in best friends for each other. And then, guys, you can learn anywhere and learn anything. Like, there's these little worms on the beach that filter the sand, and it makes little piles that look like little poop piles. Who doesn't? I mean, the kids love to talk about poop. It's the funniest thing in the whole wide world. So, to go down the rabbit trail, we found out all of these things about these worms and how they filter the sand and what they look like. And we went down a whole rabbit trail of these worms just because we were out on the beach. And I think that just last night we were sitting on the couch and I was going through numbers and letters and vowels and how many letters are in the alphabet and all of the things with my 5-year-old as he was sitting just hanging out with me. Like, it's okay to teach in the cracks of the day. You are not going to need a school schedule in order to be able to get you through a school year. All you need is yourself and your children and God being in your homeschool in order to do all of the things. Your intentionality, your desire for your child to be successful is going to be enough to drive you to where you need to go in order for them to see success in life. Just partner it with God, and I promise you, you're going to figure it out. Okay, so now that I have gone through so many different things and jumped all over the place, and I have these notes to tell me what it is that I want to say to you guys. But then I also pray that God's words would just come through and that anything that He would want you to hear would be what I would say. And so I'm just going to run through a couple of these bullet points. I'll probably add to it as well. But number one, you do not have to follow the school calendar days. If you start later or do year-round schooling, you do whatever works for you. We've covered that. If you're last minute deciding to homeschool, you do not have to rush to find a curriculum. So starting out, whenever you are starting homeschooling, I 100% recommend the curriculums like the Good and the Beautiful and the different curriculums that you're going to find that it says, say this to the child, or very laid out curriculums. If you want super heavy Christian curriculum, Heart of Dakota, it's easy to follow along. It's got everything broken down. So those like open and go curriculums whenever you are very first starting out are definitely, in my opinion, the way to go. As you go on, you'll probably start like pulling in little pieces. As I mentioned before, do not trick yourself and think that there is a perfect curriculum out there and just buy a million curriculums trying to find it, because that is absolutely not the case. There is not a perfect curriculum. There is not a one size fits all. What works for one child may not work for the other child, and you are going to be able to spend money left and right if you're sitting around looking for the absolute perfect curriculum. I do think that at the beginning we find easy open and go curriculums, and then from there on we need to just figure out and adapt what works for them. I have a website that I will post also in the description, and one of my good friends that has a curriculum store here in Jacksonville, where she just has like loads and loads of curriculum in one of her rooms at her house. She actually recommended this website that talks about, or that helps you to filter through all of the curriculums that are available based on your learning style, the way that your child learns. And it tells you what curriculums to look at and what curriculums to stay away from and all of the things. And then you can do it by child. So I can post that in there in the show notes for you to be able to find a curriculum that you like. But if you are just beginning in the homeschool world, I would highly recommend an open go curriculum. So, number 2, you do not have to follow the curriculum word for word. There is no perfect curriculum. If you are having a hard day with your child and they are just at their wits' end and they're having to color a large picture and it is not something that soothes their soul, because some people coloring does calm them down, but it's not something that soothes their soul, they don't have to color the picture. The coloring is great. It helps them with their hand muscles and being able to write and form letters better and all of the things. But if that is going to be the point of contention, that is just the straw that broke the camel's back, you do not have to follow every word that the curriculum has for you. You can go back to that coloring page later on, or you can just choose not to do the coloring page at all and complete the parts of the curriculum that you find important for that child. Number 3, do not try to replicate school at home. Period. End of story. Done. You want to talk about burnout. You want to talk about where teachers get frustrated about children being pulled and homeschooled for 1 year and then their parents deciding it's too hard and putting them back in. Please, please do not pull your child for 1 year, decide it's hard, and put them back into school. It takes at least 2 to 3 years to feel like you know what you are doing whenever you homeschool. So please give that child a couple of years, unless you just have circumstances that change and you absolutely have to. If your child's behind and you think that 1 year of homeschooling is going to fix all of the problems, that is not at all the case. Take that child, pull them out, and be where they need to be and do it that way. But please do not expect them to catch up within a year. And please do not try to replicate school at home as far as bell schedules, classroom setup. Like, you don't have to have an exact classroom. Some kids do better sitting on the bed. Some kids do better in their own space. Some kids do better at a desk. Some kids do better at a kitchen table. I preferred to sit in a corner whenever I was doing school and listening to music. You can figure out what it needs to look like for you guys. And please just don't think that it has to be a school setup there at home. It is a great way to burn yourself out if you think that you have to do everything in a school setting. You do not have to do every subject every day. It's totally and completely fine to do 4 days school week. And it's totally and completely fine to do 1 to 2 days of science and then 1 to 2 days of history. It's totally fine to start out with littles to where you're just doing math and reading until they're in like 3rd grade. That's completely fine, because if you're going down the rabbit holes with them, they're going to get their science and they're going to get their history, because you're going to turn into a teacher. And once you're a teacher, you just can't stop teaching. Okay. And then 4, do not compare your children or your homeschool to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. How often have we heard that comparison is the thief of joy? If you're jumping on Instagram or you're talking to a friend or you get a part of a co-op and you're sitting there and you're hearing this other mom who sounds like she's got it all figured out, she's great, grand, and wonderful homeschooler, just know that God gave that child that mom, and that God gave you your child, and that you guys are going to be just fine as long as you're doing your due diligence and moving forward and honestly working towards an education for them. I think that, like I said, once you become a teacher, you're always teaching, and that is the person that you are working on, is how do I become the best teacher? And if you're partnered with God, you're fine. Number 5, don't expect every day to go smoothly. We talked about that. 15 to 20 minute meltdowns, like 90% of the time. We're pretty much past that at this point, but we did have to go through that. It's a season, guys. Just like every part of motherhood, we have all of these seasons. It is just the exact same thing. And it was a long season. It felt like it was entirely too long. So I literally just would start pulling out my phone and playing a game on it, because there was nothing I could do to help him. So I would either start school with Addison and tell him to let me know when he was ready. And so often he would sit there and he would go and do the work behind my back and not even tell me he completed it. He'd do it frustrated, get it all correctly, and not even tell me he'd complete it. Anyways, do not expect every day to go smoothly. It takes 2 to 3 years in order to figure this whole thing out, and you still are trying to figure it out along the ways, but you're not comfortable and confident in your schooling until you've been doing it for a couple of years. 6, do not feel like you have to justify your choice to everyone. I will tell you, you do not have to justify your choice to everyone. It's not worth it. And your choice, your commitment, and your child are going to show everybody more than any amount of words that you could possibly say to justify to anybody. I think that the biggest thing that we need to remember is that our actions show far more than words. So whenever you're justifying, you're sitting there talking through everything. And if they're actually curious and they actually are interested and want to know, then please share it, because it may change somebody else's heart to homeschool. But if somebody is asking with the ill intent of judging you, I think that you allow your actions and your child to justify your choice rather than, and I don't mean your child by quizzing them, I mean your child by their character and by who you are building them to be. I am now in the place where people look at my kids and they're like, they must be homeschooled, and I'm like, yes. And it's because they have just such a different calm demeanor about them, or calm may not even be it, like a different confidence about them. It's not like a need to prove myself confidence or need to fit in confidence. Like it is, they just are able to be completely who it is that they are. And I laugh at my daughter all the time, and she is weird and she knows that she's weird, but she owns the fact that she's weird. She loves to make funky faces. She loves to do silly things, and she's 11. And you know what? I'm cool with it. Sometimes I joke and I'm like, girl, you need to go to school because you have not been picked on enough in your life. But at the same time, and all of the wonderful things that they are, in lifting them up, I mean that. I mean, you don't justify your choice by giving them, hey, what's the Second Amendment? Da 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 da. Like, you don't give them that by quizzing your child in front of them. You give them that by, oh, she's really done a good job raising them. Or, oh, the child really knows how to be kind to people. Or they really know how to have a conversation. Or look at the words that they just used. Because my kids use pretty high level words. And even our speech therapist is like, seriously, they use very well structured sentences with good word choices. And that just comes from you being the reflection back to them. If you choose to use, higher level words, they pick those up and they figure out what they mean just by listening to you. So don't feel like you have to justify your choice to anybody. Let your actions and let your children's actions and the way that they do life be more important than the justification of your words on trying to talk somebody into your decision being the right decision. Last but not least, on the do nots, do not fear falling behind. I think I've told you guys that in probably every single episode that I've ever made of do not fear falling behind. Your kids' strengths are going to be your kids' strengths, and God didn't create all of us the same, and thank God that he didn't, because I can promise you that all of the things in the world are, or all of the different people in the world are what makes this world turn around. If we didn't have scientists, if we didn't have people that loved history, if we didn't have people that loved math, and we all were exactly the same, we probably would not move very far. But the fact that we all have our own strengths, we have people that are great with their hands and building things. And then we have other people that couldn't build a home to save their life. But thank God we have them both, because the person that couldn't build a home to save their life might be able to budget really well, and that person might be able to give back to the needy more than somebody who, is building home. Like, one has the money and finances to build the home, the other has the skill, and we all have our own things. And I think that in homeschooling, we just allow ourselves to be okay being different. I think that one of my favorite things about homeschooling is the fact that you teach your children that it's okay to be who they are. So that is it. That is today. Those are all of my do nots. Of course, all over the place, like I generally am, but I hope that something helped you and sparked some interest. And if you have any questions, please just message me and let me know. I'll put all of my contact information in the show notes below. Message me and let me know. What do you need? What do you have going on in your head? What are your questions? What are you thinking? What's your fears? What are you holding back? Go through it, guys. I promise you, take a journal, go through the thing. Don't let fear stop you from diving into this beautiful, wonderful world of time with your children. We only have so much time with them, and I love that we get to influence who they are and who they become. So I hope you have the very best day, and I will talk to you later. Hey friend, thanks again for joining me today on your journey to the confidence to homeschool. I hope this podcast blessed you with one more tool of success. If it did, please scroll down to the bottom of your screen and leave me a review. Share it with a friend. Just remember, confidence in anything takes practice, so let's grow.